RPG Day 2023, day 31, the final day. Favorite RPG of all time. I'm gonna celebrate because I got to the end of August and I've managed every single day now. Some of these are recorded multiple ones a day and recorded ahead of time, but I've still managed 31 videos. I'm really happy with this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, so I'm very happy with myself. However, favorite RPG of all time. I feel a little bit like this is a cop out because I've already mentioned it multiple times during the month. I maybe should have thought ahead a bit more. Um, Call of Cthulhu was kind of up there, and I'm tempted to say Call of Cthulhu. I don't think it's quite my top. Um, Old School Essentials at the moment is really, really keeping me focused and I'm really enjoying it. And it wouldn't surprise me if in 10 years' time, and if I've got to answer this question again, I might go for Old School Essentials. Um, I like its simplicity. Um, I like the fact that it's really procedural. It's really easy to know what to do when. It gives you a lot of tools for improvisation, which a lot of other games don't. Um, I think it does what it does incredibly well, and it's basic expert D&D at its core, which is that's tried and tested since 1981. I think Moldvay Basic came out. So yeah, it's it wouldn't surprise me if that ends up as my favorite after a period of time. However, for the I don't know how many times this month, I'm going to go with Hollow Earth Expedition. I I love Ubiquity. I've spoken about Ubiquity. It is fast, it is fluid, it has granularity where you want granularity. It's easy to not exactly hand wave, but there's points where you go, yeah, I won't bother with that. There's points where you do it where you want to really dig in and make sure you've got everything tied down. So it can be incredibly fast. You can slow it down if you want to. It's very easy to make calls, both as a player and as a GM. Um, I really, really like the system. I think the setting is why Leagues of Adventure isn't up here. Instead, I would think, or possibly Space 1889, the Clockwork Publishing version of Space 1889. Both of those are really close. I think what I love about Hollow Earth Expeditions, the original book, it sees you role playing as people that have stumbled into the Hollow Earth, um, you know, punching Nazis, feeding them with dinosaurs, being Indiana Jones. It has that vibe and it really supports that well. It gives you a lot of options of different ways to get players in there, different things they can do while they are in there, fantastic locations they can go and visit. It's got a particular game style. Mysteries of Hollow Earth, which I believe was the second book, doubles down on that and does a really, really good job of it. Gives you extra playable races, so you can play as mole men, um, you can play as savage hunters, you can play as any of the denizens of Middle Earth, and it also Middle Earth, Hollow Earth, and it also fleshes out Hollow Earth even more than the original book did. Really nice. I think one of the keys for me is Secrets of the Surface World, which was the third book. And if you said there are four books, I'll get on to the fourth one in a minute, but if you said to me, I can only get two books, or, what do I need to really enjoy Hollow Earth? I would personally say get Hollow Earth Expedition. If you can find it, get hold of Secrets of the Surface World. Secrets of the Surface World, it obviously, it covers what happens on the surface. It turns the game or helps you to turn the game into a pulp 1930s action game which doesn't have to involve the Hollow Earth. And I've probably run as much stuff or planned as much stuff, certainly, for Surface World Adventures as I have for Hollow Earth. Um, and probably the Hollow Earth exists in any of your Surface World games. It's just that you don't end up down there. But I really like that. I think one of the reasons why I really like Call of Cthulhu, especially if I'm going to try and introduce beginning players, is from the character's point of view, it's the real world in the 1920s, or it's the real world modern day, depending on where you set it. And I think that's the thing with Hollow Earth Expedition. You can drop people in and say, okay, look, the year is 1936. You can touch on the Nazis rising in Europe and this happening and that happening. You can throw another couple of bits in there, and then you can go, okay, that is all your character knows of the setting. Draw on anything that's real world and that's in the setting. If you decide that they drop into the Hollow Earth, great. But that's a shock to your character. Your players don't have to know anything about the Hollow Earth. They don't have to know anything about the Illuminati or Cthulhu cults or whatever else you decide you want to throw into your pulp game. And I think that makes it a really good gateway for new players because they don't have to learn how dwarves and elves get on and how the magic system works and how you just throw them into the real world and let them get on with it. So I think Secrets of the Surface World is phenomenal. It gives you more factions. It reminds you of various other places. It's really nice. The final kind of proper source book for Hollow Earth Expedition is Revelations of Mars. Um, and that gives you a third location to go and play in. It gives you Martian races. It links it with the Atlanteans. Um, it takes it probably a little more Flash Gordon than Space 1889, and that's really nice. It's the book that I probably haven't dug into the most because I don't feel like I've properly explored Hollow Earth Expedition. But when I have, when I've spent enough time in the Hollow Earth and I've run some more surface world stuff, kind of linking those together and then going, oh yeah, you remember the whole Atlantean thing? Well, and suddenly they're on Mars. However it is they get there, whether it's a mad scientist who builds a spaceship or whether it's via a portal or whatever. I really like that idea. I think that really brings something to the game, and I'll really want to explore that. I think the other thing that's worth mentioning is Black Campbell Entertainment have released a couple of Hollow Earth Expedition books. They've done one for Shanghai, they've done one for Cairo, they've done one for Istanbul. There's also the Sky Pirates of the Mediterranean source book, which wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but is really, really great. I think they're all available on DriveThru. I think you can get them for, I think it might be Fate, not Savage Worlds, as well as for Hollow Earth Expedition, but they work really well for Hollow Earth Expedition. And they've likewise released some adventures, some of which I've run. There's some support out there. Yeah, I think Hollow Earth Expedition is my favourite RPG, and I think it's likely to stay that way. I really need to properly dig into it again because it's been a while. But yeah, that's the end of today, and that's also the end of the month. I'm kind of playing with the idea of doing some book flip throughs or doing a little video every now and then, trying to do something that's at least once a month because I really enjoyed doing this month, and it would be a pity just to let the channel just go again for another couple of years or until next year when I redo RPG a day. But I hope you've enjoyed the month. I certainly have. And yeah, play more games. Go and find more games. If you don't own Hollow Earth Expedition and you can get it, I really, really recommend it. Equally, Leagues of Adventure's great. I love Leagues of Adventure. They have just released this summer. They released the Great Campaign, which is a set of linked adventures. They've also just released the Tides of War. So if you enjoy the idea of being shot out of a giant lunar cannon to land on the moon and discover what's happening there in Victorian times, that I'm really enjoying reading, and I can see me running that pretty soon. So those are, if you haven't already tried Ubiquity, those are good ways in. Um, yeah, but that'll do me for the month of August and for RPG a day. Until I see you again, have a good time. Bye.